my creatives, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to share with you how I made a shaker card with the Simon Says stamp kit Stronger Together. So I subscribed to Simon Says stamp for about a year, but I cancelled my subscription because really I can't keep up with getting kits and getting crafty. I do really love their kits. They're beautiful, they are amazing, but they're piling up in my craft room. So I cancelled my subscription with them, but I'm very happy that I have these kits and I absolutely love their stamp sets. So I'm first getting a feel for the kits that I am using today. So I go through the papers and I pick what speaks to me. And I already knew I wanted to make a shaker card because I love making shaker cards. So I think almost all the cards that I make are shaker cards. So I used the cardstock that is in the kit to make my card base. And this is a standard card size. I can't see what the size is, but it's a standard American card size. Then I create a panel of this beautiful pattern paper and I make sure that there is 1/8 of an inch space on all the sides. And now I'm going in with some hard dies that I bought at Aliexpress very long time ago. And I'm going to figure out how I want to implement my shaker bit, because I didn't want to make a traditional shaker card. I wanted to do something a little bit different, so it was more of an embellishment with it than it was the focus of the card. So now I take my Sizzix, and usually I do this off camera, but I thought it would be fun for this time to show my Sizzix. I don't know, to share the complete process. And I'm just going to reposition one of the small hearts because the other heart was just too big and I really wanted to have 3 hearts because I like clusters of 3. So I also want to have 3 hearts in this shaker card. Now I'm going in with my Faber Castell Pitt artist pen and I'm going to doodle a faux stitch border, and I'm going to grab some packaging as acetate for the backing of my shaker card. I keep these kinds of packaging solely for this purpose because it's perfect plastic and it's such a waste to throw it away if you can recycle it in your crafting, right? So I keep it and I use it for projects like these. So now I'm going in with some stamping, and this is the first time that I'm using this stamp set, and I picked the quote, "We are always stronger together," I believe, and I'm using an eraser on my stamp first because it's the first time I'm going to stamp with it. And I picked this up from a card making lady. I don't know who it was, but she did that, and that will make sure that the ink will stick better to the stamp, the first stamp. I'm not quite sure about the technical stuff, but I find that it helped, so I just did it. I sometimes forget, so now I'm going in with some flowers, and I always love the florals that Simon Says stamp has. I'm going to try to figure out somewhat of a composition before I start stamping flowers. I want to make sure that I pick flowers that I actually want to use on this card, and that is what you see me do here. So at the end I go for this big leaf, big flower stamp with the smaller flower stamp and some leaves. And I thought I had a composition, but once I stamped everything, of course I changed it up. Now I'm taking some Strathmore mixed media paper because I want to use the watercolor pencils that were included in this kit. So I needed a paper that would make sure that I could blend my watercolor pencils pretty good. And if you wonder what I used, there's always a list of supplies in the description box down below. Some of them are affiliate links and some of them are not, but just so you know. And if I can find it online, there is a link. And if I can't, there is still a list, and maybe you can find it yourself in your local craft stores or the websites you like to use to purchase craft supplies. So I'm stamping this with a shadow gray ink because I thought that the black would be too harsh, because I want to make these flowers pretty and soft and beautiful. So that is why I chose to use a gray ink. And now I'm going to figure out which colors I want to use. So what I usually like to do is I like to make a few color swatches on the paper that I'm using, because the paper that you are using does a lot to your color and your blending. So I often do that just right around my illustration or stamping. It depends on what I'm doing. but then I know how my colors will look, how they will blend, maybe blend together, and then I will make a decision on which ones I want to use. So I first draw in, I think, half of the leaves because I'm going to swipe the color up with my water brush to give it a gradient. So you will see me do that, but I like to color in everything first a little bit and do this step by step because I don't want to smudge the watercoloring with my hand. So this way I can color however I want to color without having to think of it being wet. For the flowers I do the exact same thing, and where I want to have shading, that is where I color, and where I want to have the highlight, that is what I leave white, and I swipe it in with my water brush. And this is very, very easy. This coloring was very quick, but it's so effective, and I really loved this. And sometimes I'm in doubt with the design, if it is a leaf or a flower. I just wait until I colored most of it, and then I can usually see if it is a flower or leaf, because sometimes I colored in open spaces which wasn't supposed to happen. But this is how I color my images if I use watercolor images, and it was very quick and easy. So now in for the shaker part, I'm going to stick this acetate down with some Tombow glue. I like to use a strong adhesive for this because it is a plastic and it needs to contain the sequins. So that is what I'm going to do here. And after that, I will grab some of my foam tape. And with that foam tape, I will make somewhat of a case or a box for it to stay in. So what I like to do with my foam tape is, and you will see that now, I would like to double it up. I think I saw this also in another video, and it makes sure that there's enough room for the sequins to move around and you don't have to buy another roll of tape. So I like to double it up and then remove the backing and stick it down and make sure that there are no holes or gaps or anything in the shaker part, because I don't want to lose any of my sequins. If you use glitter, you especially have to be aware of that you close it off properly, but with the bigger sequins it's easier to do because they will not fit through the small holes. But I really enjoy doing this process. And I will also add more foam tape around the whole panel to make sure that it lifts up properly on my card base. So I made this card for Stefanie, and I follow Stefanie, and Stefanie follows me already for a long time. She's always amazing. She always sends me beautiful Christmas cards. And I read on her Facebook that her husband got sick, and so I wanted to send her a little pick-me-up, just a little mail. It doesn't always have to be big, extravagant mails, just something, you know, that someone gets in the mail to let them know that you think about them. And that is what I wanted to send her with this card, and I wanted to support her and let her know that my thoughts were with her and her husband. So I think he feels a lot better now. He's still not okay, but it is getting better, so I'm very happy to hear so. So what I did in the meantime, I was making my own sequin mix. I like to do that. I pick the colors of the papers that I already used, and I add some of the sequins. So there are some green, some different shades of blues, and I also added some silver hearts because I thought that silver would look nice with the tones of the papers I already used. They're more to the cooler side, so I thought that would look nice as my sequin mix. And now I'm going to adhere the panel to my card base, and I always check if I have my card the right way around, because it happened to me that I stuck this down upside down. And sorry for the headshot, but otherwise I can't put it on straight. I need to have my face right on top of it. So now I'm going to fussy cut out my watercolor pieces, and the beauty was that this dried in between I did all the other things, so it felt very efficient, which I really liked. So yeah, and now I'm just going to fiddle around with the composition. So this is something that I can do forever and I can change it up for a millimeter or two, and there's always a point that I decide, okay, now I'm going to stick it down, now it's done. Is it the best composition ever? Maybe not, but I refuse to spend half an hour on just moving around 3 embellishments. So here's the point that I am just going to stick them down as they are. So now I'm done. Kyra, you're done? Yes, you're done. Now you're done. I always have this point that I say to myself, okay, Kyra, now it's done. Now you need to stick stuff down. It's good enough. And I'm going to stick it down with the Tombow glue. And I wish I hadn't, because the glues came all out of the bottle and it left some marks on my card. And I tried to wipe it off with a baby wipe and went okay, but it was a bit So, but you know, those things happen. I mean, it's crafts and it's handmade, and sometimes there will be a little bit of glue. But the only thing is with this glue, it's tacky when it's dry. So I try to get off most of it. So now I'm going to decorate the envelope, and I'm going to use the leftover hearts from the card. That's something that I like to do. I like to use the scraps or stamp for my envelope, so both will coordinate with each other. And I'm going to stamp this flower also in the gray ink. And I really like that. And then I wanted to add my hearts, and suddenly I didn't have 3 anymore. I don't know what happened. Really, I still haven't found it until today. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do the faux stitching first, and then I'm going to put my hearts on. I'm going to look again. Where are my hearts? Then I remembered that I didn't put on my sticker on the back, so I added my sticker, and then I'm going to look again for the heart. Really, I don't know where it went. It was just there on my desk and it was gone. But then I decided, okay, I'm done. I'm going to stick these hearts down and I'm going to finish off this project and make sure that I will get this to the mailbox as soon as possible. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, I would love it if you would leave me a thumbs up. I would also love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye!